evening. So, oh, just a little bit there. Maybe that'll help. so today I wanted to talk about, and this is Alan's suggestion for a topic, about when your students come back and work as professionals. So we're very fortunate, our program, we have a lot of people who have gone on to do this professionally in many capacities, as performers, as designers, as technicians, stage managers, directors. Uh, we've got writers, students who have gone on to write professionally. And it's really incredibly gratifying when they want to come back and work with us and when we get to work with them as professionals. It definitely it is humbling to think that you had that kind of an impact on somebody's life, that first of all it would possibly affect what they go out and do for a living, which we teach and we share what we do because we love it. And so when other people love it enough to go do it for a living, that's one level. But when they want to come back and do it with you, that's even more amazing. So it's gratifying and humbling and fun. It's just fun to have them back. And it's also when they see you working with former students, your current students, when I say they, I mean your current students, they look at what you do differently because it's outside validation. And I know we've all run into that. If you have kids, you have run into this. You can tell your kids a million times, and it takes somebody other than you telling them the same thing that you've told them a million times, and they go, "Oh, yeah, that makes so much sense." And you want to throw yourself into traffic because I told you that a million times. And it's the same thing with your students. When you get someone else who comes back and says, "Oh, yeah, this, and this, it's all true." And they're like, "Oh, that's amazing." And you're like, "Why didn't you just listen to me when I told you that last week?" But that's okay, because it's like trickle down education. You taught it to somebody, so they've come back and said the same thing. And that reinforces it, which is great. Um, but aside from just the joy of that, of having your former students come back as professionals to work, there's some amazing benefits beyond that. Uh, I learn so much when our students come in and work with us because they're out doing the next level of things. And I'll confess, I try to do as much outside of school as I can, to keep those muscles sharp. Um, but there's not a lot of time for it. So when they come back in and they've played with the new toys and um, tried the new things and done the new techniques, and they're coming back with stuff to share, and they can teach you so much. You can learn so much from them, just as you would going out and seeking that information. But there's already a relationship there, um, of sharing, and most of the time they want to come back and show you, and they want you to know, because they know that bringing that information back is only going to make the programs that they love better. So that is also awesome. Um, and the relationship is different. The relationship is there, but now it's colleagues, and you have all of the freedom without the barriers. So you've got all of that artistic give and take that can now happen, without the awkwardness of getting students to share. I don't a lot of times, and not all students, but right now, my students are afraid to share because they're afraid to be wrong. They're afraid getting ideas out of them is like pulling teeth. Even if you say there's no consequences here, you cannot do this wrong, they still want to know the steps. Like, well, how do I get the points? How do I get the A for the project? How do I? It's not what this is about. When students have gone on and they are now professionals and they come back, they have shed those, they've shed the "I am afraid to be wrong." Because if you go into art for a living, that is something that has to go right out the window, is that fear of being wrong. Um, you're going to screw it up. you know that the first 10 ideas aren't going to work and you have to keep going. So you get over that fear of being wrong. So now those kids are no longer kids. They're now adults and they've come back and now they're artists in their own right. And they were always artists. There was never a point that they were not artists. But now they know it and they're not afraid of it. And they're coming back and all of the awkwardness of sharing your ideas with your teacher is gone, and you are just artists working together. And that is a really, really phenomenal place to be, especially knowing that you may have had a hand in creating the spark that put them there. And that's really wonderful. And like I said, I have been blessed that I have had so many former students come back and play in the sandbox. And when you've got students who come back, and not only are they coming back as artists, but many of them, like a disproportionate number of them, which I find very interesting, come back to teach. And some of them come back and teach in our district, and some of them are teachers in other places across the country. Um, but they're doing this elsewhere because somebody did that for me. That's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do, because somebody did it for me. So, I don't know why this one took me 6 tries to feel like I spoke eloquently enough on the topic. For whatever reason, this particular one was a little tricky. Funny how that is. Um, if there is something that you absolutely love in your life, that you have always done, and somebody sparked that in you, whether it was 20 years ago, whether it was 2 weeks ago, tell the person that put that spark there. Tell the person that showed you how much you appreciate it. Doesn't matter if they're a teacher, parent, friend, cousin, whatever. Um, Shoot, if it's, some celebrity that you watched in a video, everybody's got social media. Shoot them a message and tell them. You may never hear from the person, but I guarantee you it'll mean something to them. So you guys have a great night, and we'll see you next time.